So I remember when I was a kid, they used to say, don't talk to people online because you never know what could happen. But honestly, it's been paying off pretty well lately. You know, gonna go meet up with some friends here in New York that I met online. So can't wait. We first had to make our way to our favorite coffee shop in New York City, 787 Coffee. This coffee shop has become our go-to place for the great coffee, amazing staff, and awesome location. This was my first time ever trying a macchiato. Ooh, that's strong. It's not bad though. That was gonna be worse. Now that we are recharged and ready, welcome to New York City, where you get to experience some unreal views no matter where you look. This is a city where driving isn't ideal, but you'd rather take the subway to explore what New York has to offer and a cooler way to meet up with your creative friends. Meet Anthony, aka Tone Only Photography, and Ben, aka LUTS Shots. I've been talking to both of them for quite a while now thanks to the photography community and social media. We set up this photo walk to get to hang out, talk, and create some great content while roaming the streets of New York City.
New York City.
We started our photo walk by the Pier 16 area. This is a cool spot to see some ships docked that you can capture some nice photos of, and also a nice view of the Brooklyn Bridge area and Brooklyn. We made our way up to the rooftop of the Pier 17 building where we were able to capture some great scenery from the buildings nearby that the sun was setting behind, and as well as over the edge to see the water and the Brooklyn skyline. This is a cool spot to go to because you get an amazing view without having to worry about paying for an entrance to experience it. It's always nice to find those kind of spots while creating in New York City. As we were making our way into the city, we decided to take some street style photos of people out and about. This is one of the reasons why New York is amazing, because if you're a fan of street photography and documentary photography, you'll always be able to capture some great shots with a cool scenery. You can always find pockets of lights that can create some great spots to capture subjects moving through. It's always nice to get a spot like this because it allows you to capture people walking through it to make for great shots. Some of the cool things about roaming the streets of New York is finding people to capture like this couple. But also, simply walking around seeing a father and their kid having a moment like these two dancing it up. We stumbled upon the street where the community was just straight up vibing, dancing, laughing, and just happy being outside enjoying the day. It was a cool spot to capture some photos of the people who were just in their zone. This is some of my favorite reasons why street photography can be so great, especially in New York City. Just documenting society and their element is something great. After stumbling in Malibu for a second, we made our way to this cool street that gave you a great shot of the One World Trade Center. One of the cool things about the streets of New York is seeing people riding their skateboards to capture them while riding in the streets. But now we get to capture the One World Trade Center building. You get the nice symmetry of the street to capture the building to lead you right to it. So it makes it for a cool shot. But even after that, you also can capture the people just interacting in their daily life to get some sweet photos too, like this one. Nothing like some good light on top of a building. We were walking around and stumbled upon this church type of building with a nice sun reflection on top of it. So I knew I had to go get some shots of the building as well as the guy just in frame to get a nice subject shot. So in New York with good old Ben right here, LUTS Shots right there. Anthony, Tone Only Photography. Craziest thing about meeting people online is it's good. It's very awesome. Good. It's good right there.
It's nice to finally see you in person.
I know. It's all right. Question time.
Yeah.
Favorite lens and why?
Probably the 35 to 150 because it's so versatile. It's on my camera all the time.
Nice. What about you?
Whatever one I have on my camera.
Oh,
that's a solid answer.
Solid answer. We got closer to the One World Trade Center building as well as the surrounding buildings that had some great architecture. I had to pull out a bit of a wider lens for these shots to make sure that I capture all of them as much as possible in frame. And it wouldn't be New York City without the great outdoor vendors and food. The light was hitting almost too perfect here that we all stopped to get our photos with the steam from all the sizzling food making the light look just that much nicer. My main thing was to capture a bit more backlit subjects and use the steam coming off of from the grills to add some layering to my shots. Getting up close to the people making the food and using all that steam for some haze action truly made these photos some of my favorites. It was great to capture some action of the cooks making sure the food was perfect for their customers. We started making our way to some other locations while we just walked and talked. Some of the fun things about getting to create with others is you get to talk about ideas, get feedback and thoughts on what to capture, as well as talk about gear that could be great to look into or you've had some questions about, all while you go to create some fun photos with like-minded creators and friends. We made it to this little bridge that Ben and Anthony said was a cool little spot for photos. It had some cool views through the rails, so I decided to take a photo through them with some slow shutter to get some motion in my shots of the cars driving by. I thought they would add a cool effect to it, so I think it was a really cool idea to execute here. And as I was done taking these photos, I had to take a cool leading lines portrait of my wife here because it just looks so nice, to be honest.
All right.
Then we tried doing a cool group portrait off of this little mirror. I thought I had gotten it all in focus, but didn't notice it focused on something else. But regardless, it was still a cool photo of a great memory. But before leaving the spot, of course, I had to take one more shot of the cars driving by. This was an interesting spot because you could see the Empire State Building. Sadly, my Tamron 35-150 couldn't reach so far, but still a cool location. But at least I was able to capture this guy walking by the sunlight nicely. And as we're nearing the end of the day, we got to walk and create for a while with Ben and Anthony. It was so much fun creating with them and glad a great memory was captured. So it was a lot of fun going out to do some, street photography with Ben and Anthony, aka Sellis Shots and Tone Only Photography, which was a kind of really fun thing because we have been talking online for quite a while, and getting to meet your internet friends in person is always something cool because you live far away from each other and everything like that. So we got to just finally get to link up while we're here in New York City to go take some photos, get to talk about just everything, We're talking about just gear that we like to use or what we would expect from camera companies, as well as like kind of feeding off of each other's like ideas with like photos of what we're seeing in the street to capture other things. So that's something that I really just enjoyed, honestly. And it was like a lot, like just in a sense that you just knew that you have known each other for a long time, almost feeling, because you just, as soon as we got to hanging out, it was like click right away. So that's something that I thought was like so cool to me, because it just, that's something that like I really wish I could do more often, especially back home. I mean, most of the stuff with like photography and creating content like here in New York City, it's just, there's always something happening and you're able to have, something going on that you can capture and make, new friends with it, or find other, creators and everything like that, because there's a lot of people like with that kind of mindset here, which is quite nice. And back home, it's not so normal, I guess, because even doing photography and videography, the type of way that I do, it's not the most ideal. Like you get more stares, you get people just kind of like wondering what you're doing. Even when I'm like doing photography for myself, like I might be taking like photos of my wife or portraits, like people kind of like are wondering like, what are you doing? If I even want to do like street photography downtown, like let's say Houston area, because that's like the nearest downtown, not much is going on every day. You just kind of have the situation where you're just like, well, hopefully people are walking around, let's see what we can find. And there's not like that. For me here in New York, you find very interesting people, outfits, and everything, that there's so much you can capture within a walk that is great. And that for me is something that I thought it was just like unreal to get to do with people that are like-minded with the mentality of the street photography, capturing moments and just being out there documenting just an everyday thing kind of style. And I had so much fun with that. That's something that I just truly enjoyed. So getting to be able to come to New York City, meet up with them, get some content, go take photos, feed off of each other's, vibe and everything while we're taking photos is something cool. So making friends online, I guess, isn't so bad. I guess be careful. I guess PSA warning, yeah, be careful for anything in life, but use your best judgment. But to me, it was something really cool, and it was really nice to just get to link up with, online friends that we've been conversing with since I think like Twitter and, Instagram and all that stuff. So yeah, it's been really great and enjoyed it a lot. So hopefully you enjoyed the photos and everything that we got to do out there. So yeah, it was nice bringing you guys along with us. But with all that said and done, guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure to like and subscribe. Share this video with a friend. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.